All right, Tom, it's time to make a prediction. You think the Niners are going to win this week, right?
You know what? You better pay the mortgage before you bet the house, okay? Make sure your bills are all paid on September 30th so that you don't have any balances due after October 2nd if you're betting on the Niners to win this one.
Yeah, they're supposed to lose by about a touchdown.
You know, I tell you what, the Rams can run the ball better than you think.
Yeah.
And I know they can throw the ball a heck of a lot better than, the guy wearing teal last Sunday. So I
Yeah.
tell you, they're gonna have to find a way to get Stafford rattled off his mark, make him move his feet. They're gonna have to create some kind of pressure because tell me from where the four-man rush is gonna get to Stafford. Who's
I
gonna
mean,
who's gonna have a sack? Who's gonna be able, we always
if it's
knew
not Bryce Huff, it's not going to be anyone.
well, you know what? If I'm the Rams and Bryce Huff is out there in the field and two other rookies, I'm going to chip Bryce Huff.
Huff. Yeah.
I'm going to take him away. Make one of those other three guys out there have a pass rush that can, hit Stafford, that can hurry him, that can pressure him, that can make him have to move.
Yeah, and the Niners drafted that defensive lineman in round 1, and he may end up being an excellent player. He does seem to be a good run defender most of the time. He was complicit in that long touchdown run they gave up, and he's not winning a lot of one-on-one pass rush reps.
Yeah, he doesn't have that fast. His twitch is not fast enough to be a sack master right off the bat.
Do you think he can develop into one, or is he always going to be more of a blue-collar run defender?
I see him as more of your steady Eddie run defender. I don't see a lot of flash in this guy. He doesn't have that kind of athleticism and that kind of fast twitch and that instant acceleration, one step and boom, explode that you would like to see in a pass rusher to win on the edge.
Saleh keeps comparing him to Eric Armstead. He's a little bit smaller than Armstead. Is that what you see?
Yeah, he's an interior guy.
Yeah.
I'm
like
sorry
an edge guy. Yeah. Kind of a tweener.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got a score?
I can see, I hate to say it, maybe 23-17 at the best for the Niners to stay close. I can see where, the Rams can dominate this game. The other thing, I'll tell you what, the one thing I like about McVay in the run game, he takes his wide receivers and runs a lot of insert blocking, if you know what I mean by that.
Yeah,
where
like
he
inside
takes
the tight end.
puts them in motion or lines them up inside, and he goes up in between the tackle and the tight end to block a safety rather than try to get him on the edge on the outside, and the safety steps up and beats the blocker from the angle on the outside. McVay will insert him inside so he has a heads-up angle to block the safety, and that helps negate the extra defender in the box.
That's interesting. And if that guy's Puka Nacua, that guy's like a tight end himself.
Yeah, I like the toughness of the Rams receivers to block in the run game. They're not just all a bunch of divas out there to catch the ball.
PrizePicks will give you $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. Win or lose, you'll get $50 for playing. Use promo code COHN, COHN, and download the app now. Interesting. Shrek says Kyle's ego is in the way, no intellectual responsibility. Dazza says, regardless of what you think about Brock's ability, how can you have a franchise quarterback that is constantly injured?
Ask Cincinnati with Joe Burrow.
It's true. Yeah.
That guy's talk about a guy with a glass chin. Holy Toledo, that guy's a China doll.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Cincinnati's going anywhere with him making all that money. I mean, they can't protect him. He can't stay healthy. I wonder if they're regretting it. Frisco Shill says, why is Kyle calling slow developing plays? Are the Niners maximizing padded practice time in the preseason? If not, how is that impacting execution?
Well, I tell you what, if you don't put on the pads, you don't have any kind of power, any kind of push, any kind of oomph in your run game. That outside zone blocking scheme, you could go down the street, go to the bus station, take 5 guys off the bus, line them up, and have them lateral step and block outside zone. It's a button run. Just get in front of the guy, screen him, dance with the guy. Be like Velcro, hit and stick, and just mirror the defender. That doesn't require power. That's all about positioning and allowing the defense to move laterally and then having your back be able to be a daylight runner, to take that one step, put your foot in the ground, and make a cut. One step cut.
Yeah, you don't have to move them backward. You just have to get your helmet on the right side of them and kind of like wall them off.
Correct. Just mirror the guy. And, it's like, think about this. When you play basketball, if you're guarding the guy, you have to just move your feet and stay in front of the guy, laterally, be quick, and beat him on your movement laterally, and just mirror him and go, and just, block him.
It seems to me that, to Frisco's question about like the preseason, it seems to me that the preseason really is September in the NFL. Like training camp isn't what it used to be. Preseason isn't what it used to be. Players aren't really prepared for the season. And by October, if your team isn't completely on IR, you might be ready to make a run.
Tom Brady last year, I heard him make a comment that he even admitted that football in September in the NFL now is basically garbage.
It is.
He says you don't see good football the first 4 weeks of the season. And that, as you had mentioned, has become the new NFL training camp. That's your preseason right there, because no one's playing in the preseason anyway. So you're auditioning all these rookies, but your veterans are on the sideline having snow cones while your rookies are out there playing.
Novin has a question for Tom. He says, what would you do with a player like McCaffrey who refuses to come off the field and not let other running backs play?
We never had that problem. And we had some Hall of Famers.
Are you, I mean, have you ever seen players like that who are such competitors, they want to stay on the field, but it takes a coach to stand up and say, hey, for the betterment of the team, we're going to sub you out right now?
Kyle should have had that conversation during the week with Christian McCaffrey and called him into his office and said, hey, let me say this, bud. We like how you play, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But when we send the guy on the field for you to replace you, there's logic and a reason behind what we're doing. We expect you to conform with our decision and come to the sideline, take a break, get some fluids, and then we'll substitute you back in. But when we come out there, you're not out there to stand up. That'd be like you coming out to the mound to replace the pitcher and he refuses to get off the mound and chases you back. No, not going to happen.
To me, it's possible that Kyle's had that conversation with Christian and Christian just ignores him, but I would think it's more likely that Kyle's avoided that conversation.
Yeah. Kyle probably doesn't want the confrontation, but the bottom line is, I'm sorry, there comes a time and a place when you got to take a player and say, we're going to rotate, we're doing this, you're going to get X amount of snaps, we're going to utilize all of our personnel. We're not a one-trick pony with you staying in there for 64 snaps of the game.
I mean, because of all the offenses in the league, the Niners are like the most one-trick pony offense in the league. It's every other play goes to McCaffrey.
Yeah. It's more, I tell you, I charted at one point, it was 64% of the snaps. He was either getting the handoff in the run game or he was the target in the passing game. Not that he caught the ball, but the throw was aimed at him.
Yeah. And you wonder why this offense just isn't that good. Maybe they're featuring the wrong player.
Well, the other thing is, think about all the other guys on the field. When you run a pass route and you're wide open and you never get the quarterback to take a look at you, after a while, you become a little bit disheartened.
Yep.
Okay. You got to get the ball to the players to keep them involved in the game, to keep them motivated, to make them feel like they have a vested interest in the outcome. They're not out there like iron deer on the lawn, just, occupying space.
Yeah. Well, Kyle, Tom and I don't have high hopes for you this week, but if you follow our suggestions, you just might pull it off. Brock, hope you don't have to play in this game. Matt, good luck. Tom, thank you very much as always. I'll see you again next week. Okay, well, enjoy. You're going to LA, I presume, tomorrow, huh? I am. I'm flying in morning of, flying out night of. Okay. Quick one. In and out. See what happens. Take care, everyone.